I'll do it this way. I've got the other plate done. I did it the other night when I come home, and it was just I didn't want to mess about setting the camera up or anything just for that. I'll just zero that one. That's a 200 thou edge finder. So. Right, now we'll go into metric. So we're going to drill all these holes for M6 clearance. So they're going to go through this and screw into the hinge blocks on the other side. So let's just quiet that down, slow that down a bit. Give it about 700. So I've got written down here on my piece of paper, we want to be 7mm in from the back edge, which is there, and then the first hole wants to be 10mm in. You can see I've scribed it a little bit just to give me some idea if I'm close or not. That should be on that little cross, which it is. So all I'm going to do is spot this one. Plenty of oil there. So this hole here that's next to it wants to be 28mm from the back. Which is there. Check the little cross. See how quiet the mill is now, can't you? I love it. Right, so we'll take the spot drill out. I think this is a 6mm drill. I think clearance drill calls for 6.1, but I don't possess something like that. We'll just go up to about 1,000 revs. I'll move my little bit of paper thing out of that. Just so I know I didn't get mixed up with my drills. Yep. Right, now back to 7mm. Which is there. Said it before, but I do love these little oil cans. What is it? Goldenrod. Right. So we can leave the Y in the direction that it's in. That's where the right depth from there. So now we want to be 135.75. Yeah. Is that right? I'll best just double check on that, because that was the measurement for the last plate, not this one. A good job I checked. 125.25 is what we're after. Let's keep going past it. 124, 125. Come on. That should put us on that cross. Yep. You see there, you'll see another scribe line there. That's the where I've drilled the other plate. We may find that when we get all this bolted together that it's going to be a bit stiff, but I'm not too worried about that. Right, so then it's 28 again. Yeah, we're on the money. I suppose all you're going to see is my fat hands, isn't it? Well, you can't have everything, can you? We've got like our first sort of real cold, frosty winter's day today. Makes a change from all the pissing rain. Right, back to 7 now. Right, boys and girls, that's that side done, so I'm going to move over to do the other 4 holes on the other side, and once we get them done we're going to countersink these, so that's what we'll do. I'll get these others done and then we'll have a look at the countersink. Right, I've got the depth stop set on the quilt. I'll try and get them all the same. Have a little check. Yeah. So we've got to come all the way back to. What will we come back to now? 10 mil. Not too far. That should put us on the money. We're only about 400 revs. I'm just giving a quick check on each one just so that what I did, I went down till my ruler just skipped across the top, or should I say my scale, and then added another, I don't know what I put on there, about 10 thou I think. Right, so this one, bring this back to 7 mil. Not too far. So that'll be these 4 at this end of the plate done, and then I shall have to just to do the other 4, and that's my phone ringing, so who the hell that is on a Saturday afternoon. Whoever it is, they're going to have to wait. Right, that's all of those done, this end anyway. So I'll bring it over, get these other 4 done at this end, at the opposite end, sorry, and then what have I got to do then, Al? Well, then we'll have to start on the hinges. It'll be rather fun, won't it? I'll have to put my I'll have to re-clock this end in. Right, I'll get these done and then we'll have a look at the hinges. That's my setup, boys. I've got all of those to drill, so what I'm going to do is just keep pushing them against the stop. You can see on this one I just scratched to make sure, so we're 7mm in from that end, and then the next hole's 28mm from that end. Well, spot all these one after the other, and then we'll work out how deep to make the screws, holes, and then get those drilled. So that's the next bit. There's one thing I was going to mention. There's a guy who I've been watching for quite a while now on YouTube. Whether this can we get that on the screen? That's him there. It says roughing on my large lathe, HMW 1972. Now, he puts up some really good videos, and for the life of me I can't understand why his subscriber count is as low as it is. It's as if he's just getting overlooked, because if you like this sort of stuff, then you'll like that. I mean, I don't know whether I've commented on a few of his videos, I don't know whether he watches mine, but that's got nothing to do with it. I just, you know, sometimes you find a channel and you think, yeah, it's pretty good, and you can't work out why they haven't got so many subscribers. I don't honestly know why he hasn't. He should have shitloads of them. He's really good, really technically minded, and he's well worth a look. So, what was it, HMW 1972. I'd be curious to know what you guys think, so go and have a look and subscribe if you would, see what you reckon, let me know in the comments. Right, we'll just bring this camera in a bit closer and then we'll just start spotting these quick. So we'll run this, I think, that last spot drill I was using, I think it's gone a bit dull. So, oil can. I'm going to, I've changed the little spot drill. Move my handle down a bit. Yeah, that's on the scribe line. Get the oil back up. So like I say, I'm just going to spot these. These are all going to be drilled and tapped M6. Next one wants to be 28mm along. Too far. That's that one done. Take him out. Next one in, I'm just making sure there's no burrs that's going to push it out of line anyway. This is one of the spot drills that Bob sent me. He told me off for using a centre drill. And he's right. Right, 7mm in. So I will carry on doing these, and then once we've got them all spotted, then I suppose we'll get them all drilled, won't we? I've just got to work out the depth for them, that's all. Anyway, carry on with these and I'll bring you back. Right, so I'm thinking that 15mm deep is going to be enough. I really do, with that bloody thing winding up there a bit, couldn't we? So I'm going to lower the table down. So wind this. I need to get one of them speed nut things for this quill. Moves up and down a bit too much for my liking, but anyway, there you go. So, oops. We'll just blow them off. Right, 15mm. 15 dot divided by 25.4 equals 590. So right, so we've got to bring this up 590 to match what I've got the quill set at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70, 590. That should give us 15mm depth. So what we're running at 600. Let's speed things up a bit, shall we? Go up to 1,000. All these to drill, and then when they're drilled we'll run the M6 tap in them. So that should be 15mm. I suppose we'd best just check, haven't we, what we got that we can drop in there. Might go in. No. That'll go in. It's not. We just want to make sure we're somewhere close. I'll just check that with a scale. Yeah, 15mm. Little fella back in there. Right. So the next one will be back across to 28. Too far. Oh, come on. There we go. Can't get over how quiet this machine is now. I know when I originally got it home and we did all the bearings in the head, and I said before on previous videos we changed every bearing in it except the ones in the motors, in the spindle motor. Well, now that's them all done now, and with the very pulley bushings and the new drive belt, it's a pleasure to use. I think by the time I've got all these hinges drilled and tapped and what have you, I'm going to be a bit sick of this. but hopefully by the time we're done we'll have a really handy bit for the shop. I don't like my hands under there when it's running, but I am being careful, so don't worry, boys. I'll have the safety Nazis after me, won't I? Right, well I'll carry on and get these done. We have got to alter the offset for the other two blocks because they're bigger than these. These are 10.5mm wide, the big ones are 20mm wide, the two that's going to go on either end. But, anyway, we'll just carry on. Right. Do a load of tapping, shall we? So I'm just going to start it with the machine. And then hand tap them, I think I'll be getting a bit fed up with tapping by the time I've done this little lot. Well, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 12 of these to do and 4 of the others. Feels about bottom. And what we'll do though is, while we've got it in that little spot, is to just blow out the hole, clear the tap, and just run it back in to make sure. Oops, that's the windy gun fell on the floor. Just make sure that we're bottomed out. I countersunk all the tops of these, by the way. There we go, look. Yeah, they're filling full of chips, aren't they, when I'm doing it, so it wants to be, this is a spiral point tap, isn't it? We want a spiral flute, but I haven't got one. So, unfortunately you have to use what you got, don't you? It's going to be a case of, with the look of things, having to run the tap in 3 times in every hole. Just see if that's got right to the very bottom. That feels like it there. Let's just mark that tap if we can. Get a bit of blue on them threads. We'll just stick the scale on it, can't we, and see if it's around the 15mm mark. So, yeah, so 15mm for our mates across the pond. He's getting on for, no, not far short of 3/4 of an inch. A little bit more than that. Oh, sorry, a little bit less. Just a little nip. Move over to 28mm again. Get to sleep tonight. All I'm going to be thinking is 7mm and 28, aren't I? It's going to be bouncing around in my bloody head all night. Right, just have to alter the wire, but it's moved. Right, shall we give it a bit of joy juice? hands in the video. Trying to sort of keep my hands out of the way so you can see what I'm doing, but it's not that easy, is it? I wish I'd thought about this before, you know, and bought the right bloody tap for the job. Would have made life a lot easier, wouldn't it? But we'll get there. I don't want it to too mad and snap it. This should do it, shouldn't it? Oh, my English viewers getting ready to vote very soon. I hope you know who you're going to vote for, because I've got no bloody idea at all. I won't trust any of them as far as I could kick them. Right, that should be it. Just blow this off, find the right bolt. There's my air gun. So that should screw into there, like so. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 5 more of them to do. We'll carry on. Right, this is where we've got to. You can hear that buzzing in the background. It's my oil heater because it's bloody cold today. So we drilled the bottom plate. Obviously these are going to be that way up. So all the blocks are drilled and tapped, the plates are drilled, counterboard and everything ready. So the next thing we've got to do is we've got to set these on. I've got all oil on my bloody hands here. Thought I had a... Right, here is one. So we've got to drill all these now for the dowel pin. So these blocks are 35mm high. So if I was to put the hole smack in the middle, the radius should match up, so when both blocks turn, yeah, this front corner should miss the floor type thing. So we should be alright. But instead of just doing it half of 35mm, I'm going to bring the pin up 1mm higher just to be doubly sure that everything clears alright. Or I might just do it half a mil higher, I don't know. We'll see, but that's the next thing. We'll get these mounted back up on the mill, spot them, drill them, and then ream them to, I think these pins are M8. Yeah, M8. So, onwards and upwards. We've got to pick up both these edges. Stone that back one up actually. I've got an 8mm reamer. My only sort of slight issue, I would have liked something like a 7.8 drill. The closest I've got is going to be 7.5. You just have to go with what you got, don't you, I suppose? Or we try one and see how it goes. If it's going to be a bit too difficult or puts a bit too much strain on the reamer, should I say, then I will stop and see if I can order the right size drill for it, but we'll see. Just take them rough edges off of that. So I'm going to zero this up on the mill. Not in that gear, you know. I always tend to do this 3 times just to be doubly sure. Right, that's the wide on. Oh, a great little thing, these edge finders, aren't they? Right, put on the thou on that. I keep, I've mentioned it a few times since I've been doing these about, about how quiet this milling machine is. Well, one thing I did forget, it might not sound like that on the video, because I haven't looked at it yet. I hope it does. I hope you boys and girls end up hearing what I'm hearing anyway. Right, so all of these will want the hole in exactly the same spot. And what we're going to do is, so we want to be across 17.5 mil, but we're nearly there at that. 17.51, come back a touch. Right. And then this is the bit I was on about with the hole. Instead of coming up 17.5, I'm going to come up 18, just to give me that little bit of extra clearance. I'm spending a little bit of time making sure I get as much of this right as I can on the measurements, because I just think it'll help when we come to put it together. Right, 18 on the X. That should be right. I have got a little cross on there. Yep, smack on it. Right, where's the oil can? So, pretty much like before, I'm just going to spot each one in turn. I'm having to wipe the oil off them as I do them, because I've got that much oil on from previous things that still got the quill halfway down, so I can bring it up a bit. I'm just drilling nice and gently. But I think you get the idea, don't you, chaps? You know, even off the surface grinder, it leaves a tiny little burr on the edge of it. I thought I'd got them all off. Right, well, I'll get all these centres done, and then we'll run the 7.5mm drill through, then the reamer. So we might be able to do sort of a bit of a mock assembly on it today, because what I've got to do after we've got this lot done is set up the rotary table. I know how I want to do it now, but I just when I bought the rotary table there was a centre stuck in it, and for some inexplicable reason I didn't like the bit that was in it. I knocked it out, but I don't know what I did with it. But that would tell me what the taper is in it, wouldn't it? But anyway, we'll get these done and then we'll start drilling again. Right, what sort of speed should we run? I want to try. We'll give her a roll at 700 and see. See where we get to at that. Certainly a lot of drilling, reaming and tapping on this project, isn't there? I suppose I could spin it a bit faster, but I don't know. Slowly catching monkey, as they say. Right, I'll get these other 6 done, and then we'll get the reamer rigged up. Okay, right, I've just been to make myself a cup of coffee, and I've just realised that the 2 bigger blocks, they need to be reamed out. I think it was M12, so I'll have to re-drill them, but that's not an issue. So it's these little fellas we've got to sort out now. I've got my reamer in, and I've got it, well, we're running at about 60 revs a minute, so we'll get these 6 reamed, and then I'll have to put the 2 bigger ones back in, bore them out to 11.9 or whatever it was with a drill, and then put the reamer through. I countersunk them all while I was doing it so that I hopefully didn't end up with a burr. Right, I don't have a lot of luck with reamers, chaps, so wish me luck. I'll just bring the camera in a bit closer. Right, let's give it the beans, shall we, as they say. Like I say, I'm going to end up taking about 20 thou out here in one go. I don't know whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, but I guess we'll soon find out. Plenty of love juice on the job. Right, let me just blow that out there. Find a dowel pin, just to make sure we're all okay. Not so okay. Just get one of these other. I thought that one I had there was an 8mm one, but it might not be. These were bought as 8mm. Oh, you barstool. So why are they not wanting to go through there? That's going to kind of stop us in our tracks, isn't it? Crikey, that's a tight fit. That might be too tight a fit. Well, they measure 8mm, so I don't know what to say there. Let's run it up and down a couple more times, shall we? That's a little bit more like it. Right, let's try another one, shall we? Just get that cleaned up. Seem to particularly like it. Okay, Owl strikes again. So we've got the two middle hinges in. Pins going alright, I'm happy enough with them. Everything matches up nicely. But what I have gone and done is I've gotten that carried away with drilling and reaming these. You see that on the end now, just move you around a little bit. So on the end, my plan was, this one's obviously going to be the bigger block bolted underneath there, that way up, and that one's going to go there, like so. And then my shoulder bolt was going to go through there, be tapped into this side so I can set the angle that I want and nip it. It's a bit high, but you know, that's just how it is. But what I've gone and done, look, is this block will be alright, because all I've got to do is ream that out to slip over there. That'll be okay. And theoretically, if I'd have just bored a bit of this out to slip over there and threaded the other side of it, because that's how it was meant to be, look. But what I've done is, because I've drilled and then reamed, I haven't reamed the block out yet, but I've drilled it at 7.5mm. The problem with 7.5mm is that the tap-in drill for M8 is 6.8. So, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to think about this. So that was 12. So if I put that down to 10, I'm just wondering what that's going to look like with an M10 on there. And that's what I'll have to do, I think. I'll have to remake these shoulder bolts, both of them, with an M10 thread on it, as opposed to an M8. Yeah. What a shit. Anyway, it's not a dead loss. At least I haven't got to redo these blocks, which I'm glad I don't, because they're all matched. So that was the main thing. This will obviously only tilt to there because we've yet to put the radius on them. I just wish it wasn't quite so high, but because I mean, from that front, from the top of the bottom plate to the bottom of the top plate, well, it's 35mm, isn't it? It's got to be. Can't be any different, because that's the old centres. So my plan is to have these, to be able to mount these on here, set it at the right angle. Must have set them about there. And what I'm thinking of doing is obviously marking the centres for these holes here. And then let's say this one, I'm going to drill and tap it, I don't know, something like M10. This one I'm going to drill and tap it the same, but I'm going to make a machine a round disc that just fits nicely inside there. So if you imagine this has got this disc that's bolted on there, this will slip on top of that at a nice fit, and I should just be able to put a square against it at this end, square it up to this top edge, nip this one up, and then the same with that one, and it should hopefully put them on the same plane, so that when I sharpen, set up to sharpen one side, then it'll match. He says. So then this can also be sat on the mag table that way up, and I would imagine that what I'll end up doing with this is marking out and drilling a series of holes inch apart, you know, inch square like that, and do a hole pattern all the way across, a bit like them mini pallet things you see, so that I can use this side to mount anything I like to it, either on the mill or on the surface grinder more than anything. Spread that oil about. But once I've got all these hinges and that finished, and I'm happy with everything, how it's all working, I'll take it all to bits, drill all these hole patterns in this side. Like I say, drill these for these mounting things here, and it also gives me the option to, you know, mount anything else on this side, because I've got some long wood chipper blades that I do that are near enough the same size as that. But what I may do with that is get a piece of something like some 1/2 inch 15mm square box bar, and just drill it here, here and here and mount it on there so it's parallel with this top edge, so that the big blades I do, they've only got the blade on one side. This bottom is square, and I could slide them up to the piece of square box, couldn't I? And then just figure out a way to clamp them on there. So that'll do that. But once I've got decided where the holes and that are going to be and how I'm going to do it, and they're all drilled, then I'll take it down, drop it on the surface grinder and grind these, both sides of this and both sides of the bottom. So yeah, for now that's going to be it, boys and girls, because I'm going to now have to remake those shoulder bolts and then yeah, have another go at it. But we're getting there. At least it's not, the mistake I've made is not too bad. Could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? Right, till next time, see you later.